Miguel, how well do you think your power will translate at 160, moving up in weight?
Everybody going to see it, I'm happy, I'm comfortable, I'm ready enough for him. I'm just waiting for next Saturday.
There's a lot of trash talk between the two teams, especially his side. Do you prefer a fight or a lead into a fight with this kind of heat, or do you like it when it's a little more calm and the two warriors go at it in the ring?
You're never going to see Miguel Cotto talking trash about any of his opponent, I'm a professional the whole way, and I'm just ready for the fight.
And are you okay with Freddie's prediction of 4 rounds? Does that bother you? That's un-Miguel Cotto team-esque, right? You guys don't typically talk like that.
Freddie is the captain of the ship, He knows what I'm capable of doing next Saturday, and if he say it, you have to believe it.
You have exuded a lot of confidence in Miguel in this fight, predicting the early KO. That is very unlike Miguel Cotto, as you probably know. In the past, he's not a very vocal guy, doesn't make predictions. How does he feel about you being very vocal?
He laughed. He knows. He says, "I know what you're up to," and he walks away. He has no problem with it. I have a lot of confidence in my fighter, and that's how I show it. And he knows that what I expect out of him. So it works out well.
Do you think he maybe even appreciates that, because in the past nobody talked, but now there's somebody from the camp talking?
Well, the thing is, Martinez says he's going to knock him out in 9. I said, well, how can that happen? He won't go 4. I mean, they're predicting rounds. All right, if they can do it, I can do it. It's just, they're talking shit too. They started it. They could have been respectful and said it's going to be a good fight, but they weren't. So I'm not going to respect them back.
During the face-off, Martinez was very dismissive of the way that you treat other people. Does he have you all wrong? Does he just not understand you?
I have 5 people in there who appreciate what I do for them. If I have any problem with them, I'm going to be aware, But that's the people I need to make happy.
You've been one of the most gracious and humble champions of all time. Why do you feel Sergio is attacking your character and your credibility, not just as a fighter, but as a person?
When you pass through those kind of injuries he had before, when you realize you probably doesn't going to be 100% for the fight, you start saying those kind of things to work in the mind of your opponent.
Martinez has been leaning a lot on yesterday, talking about how you've already faced him in the form of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and he says you failed. And he says on Saturday night you're going to fail again. Your response to that?
Well, Julio Cesar Chavez trained 5 days for that fight. He almost won the fight by knockout, and he came really close. I have a fighter who worked 8 weeks for this fight. 6 days a week, 5 a.m. every morning. He's very disciplined. There's a huge difference here. When you saw me sitting in that gym on ESPN, on HBO, waiting for him, that happened 31 times. But I didn't want to kill the guy. The only reason I stayed is because his father asked me to stay, and I respect his dad. And his dad said, please stay, he'll show up, and please stay. But it never happened. He sparred 5 days for that fight. He worked the mitts 4 days for that fight. He ate Cheerios with his underwear on at home more than being in the gym. I love Julio. He's a great guy. But I'm just disappointed that he didn't show his best that night. And you know what? Sergio won 11 rounds and almost got knocked out in the 12th. But he fought a good fight, I will say that. And he tried to knock him out, but I think he left a lot of his game in that ring that night, because that was a hard fight for him. He really tried to knock him out. He really pressed it. He was very impressive in that fight. He threw everything in the world, and he couldn't knock the guy out though. And he kept trying. And I think that his next performance after that was really poor because of that. I think that fight was his last hurrah.
despite your fighter in that fight not being engaged at all, in training and getting ready, was there any takeaway from that fight on Martinez that you kind of took from there that you'll apply, in the fight Saturday night with Cotto?
Yeah, if you let your hands go, he's hittable, and he don't have that good a chin. Chavez is not a big puncher. He's a pretty good puncher, but he's not as good as Miguel. Miguel hits him once, it's over.
Really good, the pressure I had before for any kind of awareness, if I'm going to make my weight or not, just disappear.
Does that give you more confidence and make you more relaxed?
Not confident, just bring me the mental ability to get focused 100% on my work.
There's been a lot of talk about Sergio being older. He hasn't fought in a year. His knee injuries. What do you think about that? Do you think that's hype? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm ready for the best Sergio. I'm ready for him. If he doesn't come in 100%, he's going to suffer for the whole fight.
They're telling the story that all of his injuries have healed. He's ready. He's 100% or more. Do you think that that's, bravado, or do you believe that with the time off he could be better?
I would disrespect him if he wasn't ready. If you don't go into a fight ready, you might get killed. This is a hard sport, so I expect him to be at his best. I think all the injuries are bullshit. I expect him to be at his best, and that's who we're going to be. We're going to be the best Sergio Martinez.
Coming into this fight, what did you see as the biggest key for Miguel? Without giving away the game plan, what's the biggest key for him to be victorious on Saturday?
He'll let his hands go. He'll be able to throw punches.
Touch him?
The guy has no defense. Anyone that keeps their hands around their ass, defense is poor. I think his defense is terrible, and we're going to catch him.
Do you think that he's setting up an excuse should he lose? It's kind of like finding an out to say that, oh, my injuries prevented me from being my best.
No. He already knew that he signed for this fight a couple months ago. If he not ready for the fight, it's up to him or his team.
The general public has you a 2-1 underdog at Madison Square Garden in the month of June, and you've never been an underdog in the month of June at Madison Square Garden. What do you have to say to those people that don't look at you the same way they look at Sergio Martinez?
Good luck.